friends, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Homesteading blooper reel. Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Homesteading channel, Wednesday edition. If today is the first time you're visiting with us, we want to extend to you a very warm welcome and invite you to view any of our over 500 videos that we have arranged for your convenience in playlists, as we are confident you're going to find something both entertaining and educational. If you have been here before, but you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do subscribe. If today is your birthday, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. So we've been planning to get a chainsaw, but that purchase, and here's a woodpecker, that purchase was delayed because a recent storm brought some big limbs down on the homestead, and we need to take care of that. So in today's first look on our Wednesday Quickie series, we are going to look at the chainsaw we purchased to take care of the property, and we're going to give you the reasons why we chose that specific saw, what are the needs that we have, and what we think the saw is good for and what we think the saw is not good for. So stick around for our review of the best homesteading chainsaw in our opinion. After extensive research, I decided to buy the KOBALT 8V Max, and for us part of the decision was that we are invested on this system already. We have a lawnmower that is in this series, so this kit, because it includes a battery and a charger, will provide us with an extra battery for the lawnmower and also a backup charger in case one of the chargers go bad. Now this is not applicable if you are not vested in the KOBALT ecosystem. But even so, when I was researching, this came up as the leading candidate, and Mrs. Wizard and I went to many shops. We put our hands in many chainsaws, and we both decided that this is the best purchase to fit our needs.
And for the economy of it, for the usefulness, as well as the quality that we were able to observe, right?
Yeah. So we have the battery charging, and it's actually about charge. It took about 20 minutes from the box to full charge. One of the reasons we like the 80V system is that the battery lasts quite a long time, and it charges in 30 minutes in the charger, right? It came with 1 bar of charge, and I've charged it fully, so we can you can hear it operating. Now we have a lawnmower, as I said, that is the KOBALT 80V system that Mrs. Wizard has used more than I. So how long the battery lasts on the lawnmower?
Well, when mowing the grass, I do the front and the back, and I can usually get about 90% done with the yard before I need to change the battery. So, if you have a smaller lawn, you could go the whole time. If you have a much larger lawn, then you probably need at least a battery and a half worth of charge to get done.
But with the 2 batteries, we never ran out of power to do what we needed.
Nope.
And we had back then was a 5,000 square feet yard, right?
Yep.
So a decent, but we're not reviewing that. Why we decided on a chainsaw that is battery powered versus gasoline powered? This was multifaceted. I've used chainsaws before, both the battery and gasoline powered, and when we were in Kansas I actually had 2 electric saws, but they were the plug-in type, right?
Yep.
Here, because we have 2 acres of land, it didn't make sense for me to buy a plug-in because I just won't have the ability to have a cord wherever I am. Mm-hmm. So the cordless made sense. So the next step is, are cordless saws as good, at least as good as the gasoline counterparts? We are making a conscious decision to move away from gasoline powered devices. We're even considering putting solar in the shop and the house. So we wanted to investigate, is that a viable option? And everything that I researched told us that this was indeed a viable option, right?
Right.
So what does the saw comes with? The saw comes in a small box, as you can see there.
It's not very big at all. So is there assembly?
No assembly. It has 5-year warranty on the saw and 3-year warranty on the battery, which is intriguing because if you buy the battery by itself, which is about $100 item, there is no warranty on the battery. But if you buy it as a kit, the battery has 3-year warranty, right? So this is a pretty good warranty. I like that, first of all. Secondly, the saw does require no assemble. It comes like this from in the box. It doesn't have the battery installed, but this is common for battery equipment. It has a very nice wrap around handle, and as you can see, it is very much like a traditional chainsaw, right? It has the right weight. It feels really nice on the hand. It also has an anti-kick brake, which is this device here. And when it's engaged, nothing will work on the saw. And if the saw is working and this kicks that way, it will stop it immediately with no delay.
So I noticed that it is basically designed for someone who is right-handed.
Yes, it is only a right-handed saw. And I don't think KOBALT makes a left-handed saw, but that is a great observation. And most saws, unfortunately, are that way, you know, ergonomically made. Now this has, the way this is shaped, you can go sideways too.
Okay, yeah, that's very handy.
So, but again, your hand is here. It has an on-off button, and we'll show that in a moment. And it has a safety switch that you have to depress before you can engage the motor. Okay? The only consumable other than the chain, you need bar and chain oil. Okay. And here it has a little tank that you can actually see the level. It has no oil right now, but you can see the level there, right?
Right.
So,
and that's a specific oil that you have to purchase.
Yes, it's not a specific brand, but it has to be bar and chain. Actually, also, I have Makita, not because I'm not sponsored by Makita or KOBALT, but it should say bar and chain lubricant. And this one also says for chainsaws, but I don't know what else it could be for, you know. Now you need to put it here, make sure that it is, you can see your level here. This is consumable. In other words, as you cut, this is going to start lowering. It's not that it is leaking, nothing is wrong. This is designed to be like that. Because automatically, and that's another thing I like about this saw, it automatically lubricates the chain and the bar as you use it. So do not be alarmed as this will be coming down.
But what would be the expected consumption of the oil?
Well, it is not a lot, but it is constant. I mean, it lubricates the chain constant. Right. So probably if you make 5 or 10 cuts, you will have to put some more oil in it. This is very similar to the gasoline powered saws. It is the same for those saws too. Right, this is a consumable, so you need to have some on hand. But let's go and look at the battery and remove it. The charger is actually a very nice charger. It is not the cheap. As you can see, the charger is substantial, right? It has a LED that changes color. Here it tells us that it is fully charged. And the LEDs on the battery itself tells us that it's fully charged. Now, as you can hear, just removing the battery turns it off. Because it is a very big battery, it has always a fan on to prevent the battery from overheating while used. This is exactly like the battery in your lawnmower, right?
Well, it does. They've updated it a little bit. It's got a different color on the accents, but it's the same size and shape.
And it just drops in. If I do it correctly, it drops in, which is good. I mean, it's keyed as you saw, right? You cannot put it the wrong way.
It has a nice firm click.
Yeah, it does. The chain comes with a chain guard. As you can see, and it is a 18-inch or 48 centimeter blade, which means it can cut some substantial length, diameter. So here, if you hit the button, nothing will happen because the saw is not on. So we're going to press it on. The 2 beeps tell you that it is ready, right? And you suppress the safety switch, and I'm going to press the button, and the chain should start operating. Now, for a chainsaw, this is unbelievable, right? There is no noise in between. When you use a gas chainsaw, you need to have hearing protection because you always hear the sound of the engine running. Where this is ready, as you can see. And let's see if the safety works. As you can see, right? It immediately stopped. and it will not restart until you reset it. So I really like this safety. And I also like that the moment that you, I don't know if you can get a video of that, but the moment that you let go of the trigger, the chain stops. I don't know if you can do both.
Yeah.
Where the gasoline engines tend to go a little further, right? A little more. I consider this a safety device. I consider the fact that the saw doesn't make any noise. It's much more pleasant to work, right? Because a lot of times you walk from limb to limb and you don't have to hear the gasoline engine working.
Right.
So what do you think so far?
Well, I really like the ease of starting it. I've used not a chainsaw, but many other gas-powered small engines to do yard work and such, and it's really a pain to get them started. It really can throw out your back, actually, with a little pull lever and different things. So I really like how easy it is to get going.
And also, keep in mind that this series has leaf blowers and trimmers, were you to ever decide to go that route. So I'm going to put oil in the chamber here, and we'll be right back with you. So we've oiled the reservoir. So now every time you're going to operate the saw, it will lubricate the chain and the bar. Now, in all saws, and I assume this is the same for this saw, but this is our first use, usually a little bit of oil will spill from the front. It is designed to do that, you know. So that is not a concerning, it's not a malfunction. And I'm going to remove the safety tag here. All right. And just like that, this saw is ready to use. Now, I think we said why we chose an electric versus a gas, right? I mean, I think we made the case for that. But why KOBALT? First of all, I like that it has an 8-volt system. Not only because we had that system before, but because the higher the voltage, the more power you're going to have in the engine. And on a saw, you want a lot of power. You want torque. You don't want the saw to bind every time you try to cut, right?
Right.
And this saw, as you can see, is big enough to probably cut even our biggest tree here. I mean, as long as you are just under double the length of your blade, you can cut. So 2 times 18 was 36, right? So let's say 32 inches of diameter is what you can cut, because you want a little bit of extra, right? But that's a pretty good size. I don't know if we have a tree that is bigger than 32 inches in diameter. We do?
We probably do.
Oh, we have 2
But
acres.
we don't
So
want to cut that one down anyway.
no. And primarily, I think this is a very good saw for the homeowner. It's very good saw for the homesteader like us. You know, if you have a little bit of an acreage and you want to keep it pruned and keep it safe. KOBALT claims that it will make 150 cuts through a 4x4 in one charge, right? Which is a pretty good performance. So with us having 3 batteries in essence, right?
Right.
We can do 450 cuts. I mean, that we would never do that many in a day. I don't think we'll do 150 in a day.
Probably not.
Well, so we're going to do a first cut.
Yeah, so I'm really wondering, with the battery in, batteries can be heavy. How heavy is it to carry around?
It is the weight of a normal gasoline powered saw, you know. Do you want to hold it? It is safe to see how heavy it is.
Yeah, it's got some weight to it.
I mean, chainsaws are not the lightest tool in the set, you know. We're going to try and make a small cut, a simple cut, just to see how it cuts, right? Again, this is not a review because I don't know where to cut though. Now with the chainsaw, you want the chain fully spinning before you touch the whatever you're cutting, right? I must say that's impressive, right?
Yeah, that was really quick.
Plenty of power. I don't see any problem at all. You know, it cut through butter through this. It didn't bog down at all. I don't know if you could hear it, but it was a very, very good, very smooth cut. The only problem is now it's dirty. So we have
Oh
to.
no, it was brand new and clean and now it's dirty.
And as you can see, it has another cool thing. Let me go inside and show it to you. So here we're back in the shop, and I cleaned it a little bit because I'm a little bit OCD, right? And I can feel the oil here, so I know that the oiler is working. I didn't see anything spewing out, did you? No. But it's clearly working. I like that it has a chain guard. So when you transfer it, you won't accidentally hit your leg or something and get cut, right?
Right. And I imagine those blade tips are pretty sharp.
They are very sharp, yes. And it has a nice metal, and that's important because some saws don't have at all, or it is plastic. This is what you actually put on the log and you pivot the saw on, and it is a nice metal edge.
Okay, and what's the purpose of that?
When you cut a big log, you actually touch it on the log and then you pivot it, so this will not slip.
I see.
Another thing that I like is that everything you want, like we could have that in the property, go around walking, and if we find something, take the guard off and take care of what we need to take care of, right? It has a very nice system here, which is to remove the blade and change the chain. And also this black screw, I don't know if you can see it, is the chain tensioner. In any chainsaw, you don't want the chain too tight or too loose. If you look here in my fingers, you need to lift it and it has to snap back, okay? So it will not get out. If it is too loose, it will get off and it will be very dangerous. And if you go in the bottom, it will do the same. See how it snaps right back? So that's how you know that your tension is correct.
So if it wasn't correct, what if it was loose or too tight? How would you adjust it?
But wait, there is more. Look at this. The chain adjusting tool is right here. It's right on the saw. That's what I like. I mean, so it is totally mobile. And you see, I mean, I don't need to change anything here, but you put it there and it is ready. And then you have the little ratchet here, so you can adjust the tension of this. Again, these don't need to be over tightened. That simply holds the plate here. It doesn't do anything. This you will need to adjust. It is a very, very nice tool, as you can see. And what I like, it is always with you, right? And I have a reputation of, on occasion, not know where a tool is.
Oh,
on rare occasion.
Yeah. So I have another question.
Yes.
When it would be time to replace a chain, how would you know?
It will start cutting dull. You know, it will make a lot of binding sounds. It will not generate really nice and smooth offcuts. And if you're using the saw, you're going to see a difference. You're going to feel a difference.
So similar to what you might experience with a knife blade or
right.
scissors, it's just not going to cut as well as it did before.
Correct. And on these chains, actually, you can sharpen them if you so choose, you know. I know Harbor Freight sells a $19 chainsaw sharpening device. However, the chains are not expensive. 18 inch chains cost under $20, brand new.
And is that something you could do yourself?
Yes, that is a very easy process. It is universal. In other words, you don't have to buy a KOBALT chain. Any 18-inch chain should fit this saw.
But the teeth on the chain, would they be universal as well?
Well, there are actually two types of chains. There are ripping chains and cross-cutting chains. What we just did was a cross-cut, right? And this is a cross-cutting chain. A ripping chain is if you go the length of the log, right? Both chains would do both, but each chain does better what it's designed for. Does that make sense? But yes, both chains will do both. I don't know if we saw it to you, but the battery also has a live charge. And of course, this little cutting we did didn't change anything, right? And the saw will turn automatically itself off if you don't turn it off after 5 or 6 minutes. Okay. But it doesn't use any power when it is in this configuration. Did I forget to show anything? We have the power. There is another LED which indicates a fault with the saw. You see the little warning sign, the little triangle? Which is a useful device, as I said. The overall quality looks very good to me. What do you think?
Yeah, it seems nice and sturdy. I think that for our purposes, it would last a long time. Now, we're not contractors, we're not landscapers. You know, we don't do this for a living, but it would be very, very useful for us as, you know, homeowners for our purposes.
And especially if we have a big storm and it brings up, because we could be affected by a hurricane, right, where we are. We're not that far out that would be totally no issue. So if we were to lose power, we won't have to try to find where the gas cans are, you know, or often we don't have any extra, I think, actually. I don't think we ever had any. And with 3 batteries, I mean, if we cannot clear what we need to clear with 3 batteries, we're in trouble anyway, right? Plus, we're going to have a battery charging, a solar battery charging system, so that will not be an issue. So anyway, I was looking at it, this was the best choice. And I looked at Ryobi's, and I looked at Atlas from Harbor Freight, and I looked at Hart from Walmart. I looked at all of them, and this ended up being the cheapest. This as a system, it is a sub $200 for the tool only, and a sub $300 for tool, charger, and battery, the kit, right? And it makes sense to get the key if you have the system, because the battery itself is over $100, and the charger, the fast charger, is about $60. So even the extra money you pay, tool plus kit, will not buy you an additional battery. And if you are invested on the system, having more batteries is always better, right?
Yeah.
So I will definitely give this saw 2 thumbs up. And I don't know what you thought of the cut, but to me it was extremely smooth. The saw didn't seem to fight at all, right?
It seemed really good. Now, I'm curious though, I know you mentioned something about length and diameter before, but why did we specifically choose an 18-inch saw?
Actually, it's the opposite. I chose this saw because it came with an 18-inch, so I didn't have to change bars, because many of the other saws I mentioned, some of them come actually with 10 or 12 inches. You can imagine that's very, very short, right? You will probably be challenged on our little log there. So 10, 12, or 14 is the norm, which means I will have to spend money to buy another, it's not called blade, bar. I knew based on the dimension of what we most commonly will have to have in our house, in our property, that an 18-inch bar would do most everything we needed to do, right?
Right.
So it was actually, I chose partially the saw because it has the longer bar. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So overall, I'm very, very pleased, you know. I know you just held it once, but what are your thoughts? It feels very good to me.
Yeah, you know, I think I'd have to get used to carrying it. It is a little heavier than some tools, but I think if you had a gasoline-powered one with the gas in it, it would be pretty comparable. And
I will show you something here that you will wish you would enjoy if your lawnmower had it. Did you see it?
No.
The battery pops out. You don't have to pull it out as you do, because it has, I don't know if it's visible, but it has 2 springs inside. So when you release it, the battery just pops out.
Okay.
One of the things I guess we don't like on our lawnmower is that the battery, sometimes it's hard to take it out, especially if you're sweaty or whatever, right? Or in this, that is not an issue at all. Well, friends, this is our not so quick view, first look at the KOBALT 80 volt max brushless chainsaw. I'm very impressed with it, and we did a rare first use and first look video today. And Ms. Wizard, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to be a good buy.
So I will very easily give it 2 thumbs up. I also ask if you enjoyed this video and you want to support our channel to give us a thumbs up as well. If you didn't, the other button works as well. Please share, like, subscribe. Let us know what you would like to see in future episodes of the Urban Homesteading channel. From Dr. Wizard, Miss Wizard, and the Urban Homesteading channel, stay safe, wash your hands, put your masks on, and we're going to see you on Wednesday, on the weekend with another build. Farewell, friends.